Hi, everybody. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Christelle Martinette. And what you just heard, what you just saw, was a condensed version of the preparation of my different divining tools and group of tools. What you see here is the first one. This would be our first choice, door number one, so to speak. So, what do we have here? The representation of each group, of each package, has one specific article that I'll talk about now. And group number one, this door number one, this choice, is a winged scarab beetle. You can see that. This is an Egyptian good luck charm. It's often used in magic, actually. And it favors transformation. It favors transformation and the passage to a new life, transformation into a new life. Here you see the beetle that's holding up a sun. It's holding up a sun, which is the representation of new life. The representation of new life and rebirth. Now, the hieroglyphic inscriptions here that you see at the bottom, you can see that. They're hieroglyphics. They represent an offering to the god Osiris, in order that he might give life and breathe life into those who have no life. Now, this is our first group. This is the first group. You think about that, and I will go now into our second group. Let me move this and turn the camera here. This group is represented by the Moldavite stone. I'm going to try to show you this with a little light shining on it, because there is you can see that it's dark. You can see that it looks dark to you. It looks black actually to you. But if you take a good look, you can start to see it now. It's forest green. It's forest green. And this stone is from the family of textites, and textites are glass stones. Now, suffice it to say that this stone is a stone of transformation. It's a meteor, actually. It was a meteor. And technically, as I said, it's called tektite. It's a glass. It's a form of glass. And you can see, as I showed you, it's green, but it appears to be black here. It's only found in the mountains of what formerly was Czechoslovakia. And you get the impression when you hold this stone that it has greatness. It's a stone of greatness. And how was this stone created? It was a meteorite that impacted the earth, and which occurred about 15 million years ago. So we have quite a lot of history here. So this is group number two. We have group number one, as we saw. We have the winged scarab beetle. Group number two, we have the Moldavite. Now, group number three, we have here if I could pull it out for you. Let's see if we could pull it out. There you go. Group number three is a smoky quartz, Now, smoky quartz is, even if it is from the quartz family, it's quite different from a a clear crystal quartz. A smoky quartz is a stone of grounding, of transmutation. It transmutes negative energies. Let me see if I could hold it this way for you. It's a stone of practicality. It helps you get organized. And it's a stone that helps you manifest your dreams and your inspirations. They come to the fore. If you look closely in this stone, it's possible to see a phantom which is a form. It looks like there's a crystal in a crystal. Not sure you could see that. So let's go back and show you what we have once again so you can start to think about it. We have here the crystal smoky quartz. We've got the moldavite, and we have the winged scarab beetle. The winged scarab beetle. The winged scarab beetle is group 1. The moldavite is group 2, and our smoky quartz is group 3. Now, what is in each of these? What's in each of these packages? First of all, I have the Lemurian Star Child Oracle. There, I split the deck, and there's a bit of each that we will choose from. There's also here a part of my collection of picture postcards of fine arts paintings. And then there is the Gustav Klimt tarot inside each. There's also the La Vera Sibilla in each. And the Lenormand cards are in each. And the last but not least, there is a bag of runes. There's a collection of runes in each, made of different characteristics, made of different substances, different gems, different makeup. Then we have also different crystals and gems inside the package. So just to give you once again what we have, and you start to think about it, there's number 1, the scarab beetle, Egyptian scarab beetle. Number 2 is our moldavite, and number 3 is our smoky quartz. Think about it, and then we can start with our first reading with the scarab beetle. So before you choose, let's all take a deep breath, inhaling and exhaling very, very slowly. Let's do that again. Close your eyes. And take a moment to think about number 1, the winged scarab beetle, number 2, the moldavite, and number 3, the smoky quartz. 1, 2, or 3, and then we'll begin. One more deep breath and exhale. Well, ladies and gentlemen, group number 1 who have chosen this bundle of joy, now is the moment of truth. So let's open this package and show everyone what's inside the package. Okay, so the first thing that we see are the runes, and the runes are made of jade. Jade runes. Jade is a symbol of abundance and it fosters good health. Jade. So that I'll put off to the side. We have our Lenormand cards, our Sibylla cards, we have here our Gilded Tarot, Gustav Klimt, and, oh, poor little stone, I'll pick that up. We have our Starseed Oracle and the picture postcards, the collection. I have here Moonstone, and the Moonstone here, Moonstone is a stone of mystery. It's a stone of mystery. It's a stone of self-discovery. Let me put that down. And I have the Bloodstone. The Bloodstone, a Bloodstone here, it's in the form of an egg. Bloodstones are stones of courage. It's called a bloodstone because there is a red streak through it. It's a stone of courage and a stone of purification. We also have here amethyst. Amethyst here is a gem of protection. So we have quite a bit of protection here, ladies and gentlemen. Group number 1, a gem of protection, and it fosters divine connections. Divine connections. Let's put that down. Let me put the Bloodstone here in a stand. Move this. And get started. Let's see. And let's get started. So, shall we begin with our picture postcards? Let's begin with the picture postcards, ladies and gentlemen, and try to choose a card as a focus. We'll put that down. There you go. There it is. And what do we have here? We've got here Il Bacio, The Kiss by Francisco Hayez. It's 1857, the famous kiss, Il Bacio. Let's put that down. Let's put that down. And pick another. This is the Ballet Rehearsal by Degas. The Ballet Rehearsal. Put these two down. You know, it's interesting to see that we have this bloodstone that's a stone of transformation. And what happens if you remember the fable when the princess kissed a prince, kissed a frog, and the frog became a prince? The kisses and intimate touching is a form of transformation because it changes our body's chemistry in any way, whether if we like the kiss or we don't like the kiss. When another person, another soul comes into our realm, there is a reaction. It's very interesting. And with this rehearsal, it's almost as if, and this is from the period of the Impressionists, and we get the impression that it could be intimacy can serve us to enhance our spirit for our own development and as a form of learning, of maturity. Now I'm going to take the Starseed Oracle and lay them out and choose one. Let's choose one. This is the family of light. This is the family of light. Family of light. Let's look at what is written here. Signs, guidance, innate and ancient wisdom. Put that over to the side. As a matter of fact, I'm going to move these cards here and keep the family of light in the beginning, as a focus, the family of light. Signs, guidance, innate and ancient wisdom. We're talking about ancient, we're talking about different lives here. Now, something that immediately comes to mind with this is that there is these stones of transformation with the moonstone as well, and the protection of the amethyst. I'm getting immediately the message here for all of us of group number 1 that there is definitely a turn. This reading talks about transformative energy, going from one state to another, bringing ourselves to face the beginning of new life. Now, definitely we are going toward the light. What I'm seeing here for members of group number 1, the message immediately comes out, ladies and gentlemen, that we are here of consequence, as a matter of consequence. And it is a fleeting moment, of course. This is just one stepping stone onto another realm, another domain, another life as well. Now I'm going to take the tarot, the Gilded Tarot by Gustav Klimt, and see how these complement our other cards. 2 have come out at the same time. One is the 7 of coins, and then we have the King of Swords. Many of you from group number 1 may be involved with an air sign which is Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Look, I also have to say that there is something that's moving very fast. There's a fast-moving energy here with this King of Swords. I'm going to pull a few of this Vera Sibilla cards here and see what they say about this king. Yes, very fast-moving king. What do I have? I've got bambino, which is the child. I have here amatrice, the lover, and amalato, the ill one. It looks like to me that this king, for many of us, spells trouble. There is transformation underway. Now, what's interesting about this this reading so far is that what we can see is that there's a fast-moving energy. Many of you may be involved with an air sign, and not only, there's a transformation of that relationship if it's involving an air sign. The transformation is one of closure. There will be something that closes and something that then opens. I'm going to take the Sibilla cards on this 7 of coins. And it looks like to me we have Giovanni Fanciulla, the virgin, the young woman, the virgin of the deck. We have the prison, prigione, and we have casa, which could be a business as well. And I feel that there is those of us who are not partnered here do seek partnership, do wish to have that ball and chain. They are looking especially for a commitment here. There's a commitment sought after. And for those of you who are not looking for a commitment, I'm seeing here you are geared toward a new job. This is a place of business as well. It looks like you are geared toward changing your job or getting a new job. Now, a few cards I'm going to put out of the Lenormand deck for especially the Degas Ballet Rehearsal. I want to take a few cards from the Lenormand deck here. Very interesting. Okay. Rehearsal. We've got the rehearsal. Now, it's an impression. Remember, it's an impression. Impressionistic painting. We've got the snake. We have the stars. And we've got the stork. Look, there's many of you have a third party involved, especially with that relationship we looked at involving an air sign. If it's not an air sign, regardless of the sign, there is a third party situation for many of you. And the clarity in this week, because we're doing this week, it will be on midweek, I'll be doing these readings. And this week from now until next Wednesday, I'm looking at you finally understanding that there is a third party situation and you wanting to hold on. There's a dire need of holding on to that relationship, not wanting to let it go. And you have the impression that you need to repeat certain acts with that same person in order for them not to remember, not to forget how important this relationship is. I'm going to take a few more Lenormand cards here. And look at the bacio, the kiss, the transformative nature of intimacy. I've got here the house. Now that's the second time we have a house. And in many respects, this can also be a business, but I've got the house. I have the coffin. and the scythe. What does this talk about? This talks about the removal of something that is lost, something that has ended, the removal of that. It looks to me that the picture that I'm getting is the notion of having a third party involved here in this relationship. There is the beginning of the cracks. You're feeling the cracks of this relationship falling apart. And not only, you remember that we talked about signs, guidance. There was signs, guidance, and innate and ancient wisdom. Here, this reading for group number 1 is all about getting messages of transformative nature, getting messages that something is changing, getting messages that not only is something changing, what we find is that it is not for the worse, it is for the better. I'm going to take now our runes and I'll cast them in this basket. The runes that we saw were jade runes, a sign of strength and health. And let's take a look. Let me turn them around first. Okay. The jade is a little bit difficult to show you on camera, but I will. What's interesting here, I'll pull these out as they were cast. We have our first rune here, Diag. And ladies and gentlemen, Diag is a rune that many of us would like to say that there is a return. There is a return. But lo and behold, what I'm looking at here is a message that gives us, and I'll tell you why, there is this nameless, faceless rune called Weird. Weird is a faded rune, an undisclosed rune, and it is the rune that tells you that love is coming in a way that is final, or love is going out in a way that is final. And it's quite interesting to see the understanding that I get from these paired together, the nameless faceless rune and Diag, is that there's an increase and growth. This is a rune that alleviates any delays. There is a return, but it's not necessarily the return of that same person. The runes here and the cards are exhorting you, people of the first group, to seek out something that is not from the past. Seek out something new. And I have also here Urus Merkstave. Urus here, I think you can barely see that. The gold inscription there. Yeah, perhaps here. Yeah, Urus is vital strength, vital force, vital energy, and strength. And when it's Merkstave, we can say that there could be recovery. There is a recovery. There is a rebound. You come back from the hurt. You come back from the pain. You're recovering. There are strong emotions. And there's also healing that will take longer. How can I say, Urus is an earth sign. this may be an indication for you of the first group that you may seek solace in an earth sign. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It calls for sacrifice, but you need to be determined. Now, what I have here, beautiful, of course, we've got Wunyo. Wunyo here is one of the most beautiful runes. It's my favorite, of course. Wunyo and its bright stave, as you see it, it's a gift. It's a gift of joy. It's a gift of happiness. It's telling you that there is a positive outcome, whatever your endeavors may be. There's success in your affections as well. So we do see transformative nature. We see transformation. Something is closing and something is opening. Where am I headed? Remember the question of this week. Where am I headed? I'm headed to something new, to someone new. Then we have Otala here. Otala talks about things, money, possessions. Otala talks of what money can buy. It also points to earth signs as well. You know, my understanding here is that there are earth signs for you around the corner, if for those of you who are experiencing a closing situation. This also does tell you, though, that you may be consumed by an ideal. You have an ideal in your mind. You have an ideal in your head and you can't get it out of your head. Try to meditate on the stones that we have looked at and try to embrace the transformation that the reading is talking about. Now we have Thurisats. Now, Thurisats is a very, very difficult rune to read, especially in a reading of this kind. Thurisats is protection, and at times it can mean love and luck as well. When it's paired with certain other runes, which are not here, it does mean fire. And what I'm looking at with Thurisats here, I'm looking at protection for you and luck. So, ladies and gentlemen of the first group, I can safely say you can go relax, and we are in the midst of a transformation this week. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back next week for another reading. Let's go now to the second group. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with our second group. Our second group with the Moldavite, as we saw. Let's put the Moldavite here off to the side and unpackage this group so we can start our reading. What do we have? Okay, first we have our satchel of runes, and here we go. The runes are of black onyx. They're black onyx. And what does that symbolize? Black onyx favors willpower. It's all about willpower, our self-discipline. And it helps us focus on our attention. It guides our attention span. So let's move this off to the side. We'll get to that later. And we have here a gate. I'll put that here for you, and I'll show you first what that's like. The agate is a gem. It's a stone that fosters communication. It fosters self-confidence. It fosters clarity. Let me put this over in a stand. And we have the Verasibila cards, the Gustav Klimt cards, our our picture postcard collection, the Starseed Oracle cards that we'll choose from, and we have an apophyllite. Look at this. This is half of a stone, half of a larger. An apophyllite. Apophyllite, it's called apophyllite. What is the apophyllite? Apophyllite is a stone of higher realms. This is a stone that you need, of higher vibrations as well. It's a stone that if you meditate on this energy, you'll truly, it will bring you truly to the heavens. It's an extremely interesting stone, this is. Let's see if there's anything else. Yes, there is an aventurine. Look at that, it's a green stone, aventurine. Aventurines are gems of vitality and growth. They help us with our vital energy. Put that over there. Remove these and let's start. I'm going to start with the collection of fine arts paintings and see what comes out. Take one from the top, and one from the bottom. Look at this. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Now, this is The Peacock by Archibald Thoburn. Let me see if you can see that. Pretty much. Yeah. All right. We have to know that the peacock is a symbol of royalty. It's a vision of high spirituality. It is a symbol of awakening, of guidance, of protection, of watchfulness. And you see that in each of the peacock's feathers, there are eyes, or so-called eyes. They look like eyes, and they were thought to be the eyes of the stars. This was in Greek and Roman mythology. And in Hinduism, the peacock represents patience, kindness, and luck. Let's put that down. And this is the young woman with a book, reading a book of Hours, Ambrosius Benson. This is patience personified, ladies and gentlemen. It's really patience personified. I'm going to take now the Gustav Klimt tarot. First, though, choose the Starseed. These were already all mixed, as you saw in the beginning of the video, but we shall take a look at this and choose our focus here. This is a card of abundance. Abundance. Let's see what it says. It says fullness of source, enough for all, being open. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message. Let's leave that there. And the colors are absolutely gorgeous. Fullness of source. This is divine source. Divine source. And it is very complementary to this peacock. And the Book of Hours. The Book of Hours is a spiritual book. Look, I'm going to pull the Klimt tarot. Now, I'll show you those before I go on to the other oracle cards. We have a Knight of Wands. We have the Five of Cups. The Page of Cups. There you go. Page of Cups. The Six of Swords. The Six of Swords. And the Page of Coins. The Page of Coins. How interesting, these two pages. They're beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to pull some Lenormand cards on these because I have this fullness of source. There is an open energy, as we can see here. And this is favored also by the agate, as we saw before. And of course, this apophyllite. I'm seeing you with the second group, all of us from the second group, as aiming for literally the stars in this week. I'm reading on a Thursday. This will be until next time we read on Wednesday. There's this week's energy is all about moving into another realm, moving into another dimension, going beyond the mundane, going beyond the mundane. Now, with this Knight of Wands here, there's this fire energy, and it is the only fire card that I have. And what does it tell us? It tells us that you of the second, many of you of the second group may be involved with a younger fire sign. This doesn't necessarily mean a romantic energy. It also has to do with family members. It can mean a younger romantic partner, but also a younger family member. It could also mean a younger colleague as well. Now, the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, what I'm looking at are these wonderfully vibrant two pages that we have, this Page of Cups and Page of Coins. Now, they bring you something. You know, the Page of Cups especially is bringing in something that is full of emotions. For those of you who are expecting some news concerning your livelihood, and this is going to be coming in this week. For those of you who are waiting for messages that have to do with your job, your position, your career. Also, for those of you who are involved with younger people, not only the fire signs I'm looking at here, other, you know, it could also be the cups, the water signs as well. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, or the earth signs, which are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Look, I'm looking at messages coming to you concerning your business, and this is one reading. However, I do see that there's a problem here. There's an issue here concerning your openness to move forward. There is an openness, and there is spiritual openness. There is contact with the divine source. We saw that. And there's actually a lot of work being done, ladies and gentlemen, of this second group have been doing in the past until now. And it's not by chance that this was welcomed in by this Moldavite. The Moldavite is such a very powerfully resonating stone, a very high vibration stone. I have to hide this somewhere when in my home because I can't keep it close by or else I'll never sleep. Now, there is an issue here and I'm looking at the Five of Cups. Let me take some Sibylla cards here and see what that is all about. Let's take a look at that to see what that is all about. Okay, I get it. All right. We have here the Gran Consolazione, this great consolation. It's arguably the best card in the deck. And you have a lot of this. Let's go on all three and I'll read them together. The Death card, which does augur in a change and a disequilibrium, an imbalance. And then the Military, Militare, which talks of strength, however, strength and secret. There's something being kept in. Now, how does this figure? The Five of Cups is a card usually that tells us that there is a loss. There is a loss, but where there's an expression, those who are lucky in love are unlucky in their work, and vice versa. Here I'm looking at a loss that has to do with a personal nature, that has to do with a romantic nature, a loss that many of you have suffered and unwittingly have kept to yourself. On the positive side, there is, it's called a consolation because it's a consolation prize. But this gran consola, this great consolation, is something very short of a windfall. I'm going to take a few more cards and on that from the Lenormand deck, actually. And this is the lilies and the tree, the lilies, the tree, and the fox. And there we have it. Now look, the fox is always a work card, and that is fine. We got that. This is a card of, it goes hand in hand with the fullness of source, enough for all, openness. This is a card of great maturity, great spiritual maturity in this reading, ladies and gentlemen. And what I'm looking at, usually the tree talks of health in maturity here. What I'm looking at is the mirroring of these two cards, the fox and the maturity. It's as if they're telling us, group number 2, ladies and gentlemen, that the loss you are suffering is transient. It is transient because you will find a way. The fox is sly. The fox is cunning. The fox knows how to use strategic powers to gain for personal gain. And what we're looking at is your ability, our ability in group number 2, to overcome the hardships, the emotional hardships, because we have the tree, which also talks of being rooted. And if you, there is something more with the tree in the Lenormand cards. This is sort of a magical card. It's a magical card because just like the tarot magician, so like below, so above, so as above, so below, the tree has mirrored roots of its branches above. This is a card that tells you you can manifest what you are looking for in these, with these 3 different younger signs. Younger could be a year, younger signs. And you have that power. I'm going to take some cards. So there's this 6 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords does talk about moving to a better place. Now, when we say moving to a better place, it is metaphorical more than practical, more than an actual move. Let's take a few cards on that. Okay. Well, we have here, look, melancholy, malinconia. We have fidelity, fidelità. Then we have gelosia, jealousy. And it does look like there is an emotional loss that many of us in group number 2 are experiencing, which brings us to look to the past. However, this is a card of forward movement, going to a place that will bring you joy. Let me take a few Lenormand cards on this 6. Yes, okay. Now, you're very, very lucky. Group number 2, we are very lucky in our business, especially if we have, these are the fish, especially if we have our own business. We've got the Tower, which are authorities, and we have the Child, which talks of a beginning. Those of you who are breaking away from an employee-based job and aiming for a business, you are sitting pretty and you are going to be making it. Here is the Tower, which is also a card of 6 of Swords. This heightens the meaning of moving forward to greater strength and greater abundance, ladies and gentlemen, of group number 2. Now I'm going to take this basket and cast our onyx runes. And show you those. I'll place them as they came out. And show you those as we... How interesting this is. I tell you, the runes never cease to amaze me. They never cease to amaze me. Let's take a look. Now, in the middle of this, in the midst of this, I've got Isa. Isa. And what does Isa tell us? It means ice in Norse speak. And it talks about stopping, freezing, and cooling down in a relationship. And this is a clear message for those of us who are facing a transformation in a relationship, ladies and gentlemen. Just chill. Just chill, literally. Now I've got Rhodo here. Rhodo, which is Merkstave. And what's interesting about this is Rhodo is a journeying room. It's a wagon. It's traveler movement. And being in the Merkstave position, it talks of a lack of movement. It's as if the runes are telling you with this 6 of Swords that it will be further down the line when the situation gets better. But Rhodo tells us it's a good time now for negotiation. And with these 2 pages, we're going to be receiving news. We have here Ingvats. Ingvats talks of a successful conclusion, relief finally, after this, towards the end of this week period from Wednesday to Wednesday, Thursday to Wednesday. It can signal a milestone in your life. Now, why am I so excited about this? Because right near there is Suilo. And Suilo is the rune that everybody wants to have. When we cast runes, we want to see Suilo, which means victory, great power, success. So we have here a message of telling you that this reading is telling you, ladies and gentlemen, cool down, cool down, cool down, chill out, because success is on its way. We have Otala, which as you can see is Merkstave. Otala talks about things that money can buy. And in the Merkstave position, it tells you that you are concentrated on material goods, on your business, on your work, almost to the detriment of personal relationships that you need to, in any case, cool down on. Then we have Urus. Now, Urus here is Merkstave, and Urus is a rune that's always so very difficult to read. In this position, especially, it is Merkstave, and it does talk of a bit of a lack of strength, a little bit of lessened vital force and less energy because of this emotional situation that may have gone awry. But it does talk about recovery, especially those of you who have been feeling ill in some way. There's a recovery from that. It does signal strong emotions nonetheless. It's a strong healing rune. So this is what we need to cool down those emotions. It does, however, ask you for sacrifice. You need to do the work. And you need to be determined about what you do. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful birth rune, Berkana or Bjork. It is one of them. Again, this is another gorgeous rune. And Berkana talks about fertility. There's a family coming up. There's the birth of something coming up. And there is a new beginning. Hooray, a new beginning, a new beginning. I'll say that again, a new beginning. Romance or a new project underway. The watchword here is patience, because the Six of Swords, twice that has come out, signals that to us. Then we have Fehu here. Fehu talks of fulfillment. Now, it is a gain. There is a gain. There's an earning here. It could be romantic. It could be financial gain. And with the two pages, we saw that something is coming your way. There is news. There is an offer. That is Fehu. Now we have the last rune. Here is Pirdro. Now, Pirdro is Merkstave, as you can see. Pirdro is usually a very magical, mystical rune. What it looks like to me is something that was hidden, since it's Merkstave, has come to the fore. In a relationship, for those of you who have faced the breakup or is about to break up or is moving apart, you're moving apart from your loved one, it's because things have emerged, truths have emerged, secrets have emerged, and surprises have emerged. Ladies and gentlemen, group number 2, door number 2, I do hope this was of help to you. I do hope this was of help to you. Ladies and gentlemen, namaste, and until we read together again next week for door number 2. Now we'll go on to group number 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those of you from group number 3, here's our bundle of joy. And as you can see, we have the Smoky Quartz. I'll put that over to the side here. And let's open the package. What's in store for us? What's in store for us? Okay, here we are. Let's take a look. Now, first thing that we see are the runes, bag of runes. And I've used these before. These are antler bone runes. They're from antlers, and you know that antlers fall off of the animal, and they represent the life-giving power of the sun. let's push this over to the side, move this over to the side. Then we have this gorgeous Rhodochrosite. Now, the Rhodochrosite, it's an emotional healing stone. It helps us heal emotionally. And what's interesting here is it strengthens our energy and the memory of our energy. There's an interesting quality to this Rhodochrosite because at the same time it strengthens our memory and our emotional memory and the emotions that we have linked to our memory. And it fosters compassion, it fosters self-love. Let's anchor this on here to a stand. I'll put that in the middle. Then we have, gorgeous, gorgeous. We have this garnet. And the garnet is a stone of prosperity. It favors prosperity and good health. Garnet. Let's put this down. Then we have this beautiful, beautiful fluorite. The blue and purple, blue and violet fluorite. Fluorite enhances mental clarity. So we've got strengthening of our memory with that Rhodochrosite. And here we have this fluorite that enhances mental clarity and it clears our energy fields. Really strong and clean energy we're getting with these gems. Hang on. Let me move this over to the side. Then we've got there we are. We've got our Lenormand cards. We have our Beetle cards. The Gilded Tarot by Gustav Klimt. The picture postcards of fine arts collection that I have, and the Oracle deck, Star Childs. Now, let's take a look. I'm going to start first with the collection of fine arts paintings. Let's see. Let's think. Pull 2 out. Cut them, take one from the top and one from the bottom. Okay. Now, this is the first that has come out is the lady with a book. Up. A lady with a book. And the second is the little girl in a blue armchair. Little girl in a blue armchair. This is the Impressionist period. Now the Starseed. Starseed Oracle. Let's take a look and we'll use that as a focus card. A little more mixing and cutting it and then taking it from the top. Let me show you that. Oh God, how beautiful this is. The joy of life. The joy of life. Trust. Let's see what it says there. Oh, let's see if you can see that. Perhaps the lighting is not good. Trust. Open your hands. Share. And let go. Trust. Open your hands. Share. And let go. I'm going to take now the tarot, Gustav Klimt tarot. And pull the cards. Okay. Let me show you these cards first. We've got a Knight of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Two of Coins, the Four of Coins, this great Four of Coins, the Two of Swords, and the Two of Wands. Fancy that. Two of Coins, the Two of Swords, and the Two of Wands. When we do a reading, usually everyone concentrates on what's come out. And I'm used to seeing what's on the table, but what is missing. And what is missing here of the twos, we have the Wands, Swords, and Coins. The Cups, the Two of Cups is missing. And let's take a look why. Now, we have emotional healing here. We do have our health protected, and we do have clarity in our emotions and clarity in our memory and our emotional memory. Now, what is by far the most interesting here card is this Four of Coins. The Four of Coins, because it represents a coming out of your ashes, just like the phoenix. There is a rebirth. Now, when you have a rebirth with the protection of your memory, it's as if you're bringing forward something, a lesson you learned, a truth that has emerged that you've understood, and you're using it in the second part of your life, as if a second life, a second chance is offered you now. I'm going to take the Sibilla to see these. First of all, the Knight. There is this Knight of Cups. Now, it does talk about coming in. You know, this Knight is moving right into our reading here, group number 3. And we need to look at that. And also the Joy of Life has a cup there, you can see. The Joy of Life does have a cup. And look at that animal. It says, if it's the phoenix arising from its ashes. Really interesting. Now, there is a quality, a mundane quality. Okay, there's a mundane quality here. Of course, you know, we do our job, we have to pay bills, and that's fine. But there is the mundane quality, which is in the moment previous to this week, to this reading, because we are rising from our ashes. We are trusting, we're letting go, we're sharing, we're opening our hands. How is that possible? It's possible through raising our gazes, using the teaching that we have been able to learn, and use our impressions and keep our eyes those of a child. However, the child here is a child of boredom. Usually the Four of Coins is a card that people talk of. Generally, let's say that the Universal Tarot has taught, and I don't subscribe to this, but the Four of Coins is a miserly card that keeps things to yourself. I read this as a rising up out of our own ashes. That was something of the past. This is something new. We have let go. We're in a position of being able to share. Now, let's take a look at that Knight. For many of us in group number 3, this is a card that represents someone coming into our life, a water sign, could be a few years younger than us. This is a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Let's take a look. Very interesting, very, very interesting. And it looks like these cards have have given me the high sign and the okay. We have Superbia, which is usually vanity and pride, but it is a card that, in a different context as this, talks of success, of great success. There is alegria, happiness, and fortuna, fortune. If all systems go, there is something coming to us. Group number 3 this week. Open your hands. Trust. Let go. Remember that basic message by the Starseed Child Oracle. Remember to open your hands. When you open your hands, you're ready to receive. Now, let's ponder on these 3 twos, shall we? Let's take a look at what these 3 twos are trying to tell us and why is the 2 of Cups missing. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's start with the first one that came out, the 2 of Coins. The 2 of Coins, we have denaro, the money, the safe, vecchia signora, the old lady who speaks to positive change, and love. What did I say? This is an institution which could mean marriage as well. This is a long-term relationship. These are mirroring each other. Ladies and gentlemen, group number 3, I would say we are poised to be meeting someone who is not just a romantic partner, but who is a spiritual partner. Now, the 2 of Swords. We have here the 2 of Swords as always usually talks of decision making, something that you need to think about perhaps. Let's see. This is Ladro, the thief, sighing, sospiri, and allegrezza al cuore, happiness in the heart. Looks like the ladro, the thief who speaks to negative change, does talk about changes that we have been waiting for. But something that occurred in the past, a negative change that occurred in the past, is now finally coming our way to bring us happiness in our heart, romantic happiness, emotional happiness. This 2 of Swords is a question of telling you, look, group members of door number 3 of this bundle of joy number 3, those of you who chose this group of divining tools, now is the time that you can choose to decide to accept something that comes your way, to open your hands and let go of something from the past. For this 2 of Wands, I have here leggerezza, the lightness of being. I have mercante, the merchant, and amica, the friend who speaks to harmony. I've got here, ladies and gentlemen, something that does talk of change, something that talks of positive change, and something that makes you stop in your tracks. Why? The 2 of Wands generally is a card that I call something similar to a bone of contention. There are 2 people that come head to head, just like the 2 Wands, and they look at each other. They have to negotiate. They have something to talk about, and they need to talk about. They need to talk about it. Here this talks about harmony being restored and how your livelihood needs to be negotiated, needs to be settled, needs to be spoken about. Of all of the things that have emerged here, it looks like to me, ladies and gentlemen, group number 3, that we're headed for a meeting this week. Something is coming our way, a person is coming our way, and we need to negotiate on the job. I'm going to take a few Lenormand cards on the reader of the book, and the child in the blue chair. Here we have the sun, which is an extremely warm sun in the Lenormand cards. We have the man, and then we have the mountain here. What am I looking at? Can you guess? Can you guess? Somebody is coming to us that is of another realm. This is a spiritual card. Oftentimes in another context, it could talk about problems, but here we're talking, these mirror each other. We're talking about a highly spiritual relationship. Remember that. That came up with the 2 of coins. Over the girl in the blue chair, we've got the cross, the mice, and the paths, the crossroads. All comes to those who wait, but to those who know how to make a decision. This card, this girl in the chair, and the 4 of coins, ladies and gentlemen, are inviting us from the third group to stand up to the challenge of making a very difficult decision. You are at a crossroads, and now is the time to make that decision. I'm going to use this basket here to cast the runes in, and then I'll show you those. These are the antler bone runes that I've used on camera before. You've seen them before. And I will pull them out as they have come. Well, we've got some interesting things here. We've got some interesting patterns. Now, let me turn these over. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Look, I have here Algits. Algits, and the way it appears is Merkstave. And what does Algits tell us? It's usually fortunate. There's a fortunate new influence in your life. French, if it's a protective room. But Merkstave, it's telling you you have to stand to the challenge on your own. You need to make a decision. And the rune of joy, which is Wunyo here, Merkstave, however, tells us that your success is contingent on how you manage your affections and how you stand to the challenge that is presented you on the job. In terms of negotiations, we have Perdro here. Now, Perdro is Brightstave, and this is a magical, mystical rune. There are hidden secrets and matters of these secrets that emerge. Surprises will come to the fore this week. We did talk, I believe, about... No, we haven't. We didn't talk about Rhodo. Now, Rhodo is a journeying room, and it is it signifies a wagon, a travel or movement, and it could be metaphorical as well for those of us in this third group. It's a good time to negotiate. Bingo. It is a good time to negotiate. I'll say that again. It's a good time to negotiate. Bingo. You may receive news. Now I've got Anzus. Anzus is bright stave, and these are messages, these are words, advice, wisdom comes by. You need to communicate. Check the nearby, I'm looking at the nearby runes to see where the communication comes from. And it comes from your intuition, from the negotiatory process, the negotiation on the job as well. And you have to stand to that challenge. Now I'm looking here at Yera. Now Yera is a rune of harvest. Okay, this is a karmic reward for your efforts, as if it's telling you, look, ladies and gentlemen, from group number 3, if you stand to the challenge, the reward is yours. Now, Yera also tells you that many of you have some legal issues that will be ruled on. There are, how can I say, justice or legalities that you have to tend to this week. Now I have a few more runes here, and I've got Manats. Now Manats is a rune of humankind, and it talks of interdependence, and this is something that the group number 3 needs to remember. We are not an island, and we need to communicate with others. They're shouting these runes. The communication is important. It is very important. You will receive aid. You will receive aid in the form of divine signs coming your way. Now, another thing is that this rune, Manats, tells you that this is a time to make new plans. 2 more runes, and I'll give you 3 more runes. This is Lagas or Lagus. Now, Lagos and Lagus is usually intuitive knowledge. It's a female energy. It's good memory. And it's a milestone in your life. And this mirrors the memory, the strong memory that our gems have also fostered. There is this rune here, Awats, that talks of, again, of movement, of shifts, of changing, of going forward and gradual development. There is steady progress, but it's contingent on the decisions that you make and the negotiatory process, the negotiations that you entertain. Now, last but not least, I like to say last but not least, we have Soilo. And Soilo is, and it's right in the center it fell, it's the rune of victory, of great power, of success. And this comes about if you're able to move forward with the challenge that is presented and to come up like the phoenix from your ashes, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope this was of help to you. I will be back next week with another theme, and this is where are you headed? You're headed to the challenge that you have to face and to rising from your ashes, ladies and gentlemen, from the 3rd group. Namaste. It was a pleasure. Till we read together again next week. Bye-bye. Write to me below to see if this resonates. Ladies and gentlemen of all of the groups, please write to me under the video to let me know what areas of the video resonated, which resonated less, and just generally how you felt during the reading. I would appreciate that. Bye-bye, everyone.